According to a local legend, no other land has ever instilled man with such heavenly dreams. It possesses a timeless, unspeakable beauty. Inhabitants of the Isle of Pines are commonly referred to as Cunis. Joachim and Nasser are members of the Vau tribal clan. Their tribe was among the first to inhabit the island. Today, they can be found in the south along St. Joseph's Bay. The Vau have preserved their age-old reputation as excellent fishermen and outstanding craftsmen. Strong winds and dangerous currents present harsh obstacles to navigation outside lagoon walls. Joachim and Nasser stay close to shore in bad weather. Their village is dependent on shellfish for survival, and they're often forced to fish along the plateaus surrounding Naukanui. They use pirogues to reach the coral reefs. The fishing tradition is usually carried on by the bolder, more adventurous members of the tribe. It's an escape from the constraining rhythm of daily life. Each new dive into this strange and fascinating marine environment requires courage and agility. Several species of crawfish live around the Isle of Pines, the largest of which, porcelain crawfish, can attain 3 feet in length and can weigh up to 30 pounds. Snakes are also found throughout the lagoon. The striped viper is probably the most dangerous. Its venom is deadly. Joachim and Nasser work together. While one catches crawfish with his bare hands, the other uses a spear gun to hunt larger fish. Man is without doubt their #1 predator. Porcelain crawfish, their large size apart, are one of the most unusual inhabitants of these coral reefs. They walk along the sandy bottom and find refuge under slabs of rock that local divers refer to as potatoes. The Vow village has a reputation for having the best divers in the archipelago. In the evening, a celebration is held for island fishermen. The sacred dance depicts scenes from a popular legend. One night, 12 yaches or ghosts came out of their cave to go fishing. A member of the Vow tribe slipped in among them to learn their secrets. The yaches smelled the intruder but couldn't see him. Just as they were leaving, he appeared and asked for their help in throwing out the fishing net one last time. When the sun came up, the yaches were destroyed, which is how the tribe came to adopt their secret ways. Vow is the only village on the Isle of Pines. The first French missionaries to come to the island convinced the great Cuny chief to accept French sovereignty and to regroup all of his clans around the chapel. The church has had a strong influence on the Vow people. In fact, the village still goes by its adoptive name, the Mission. Missionaries landed here on the 12th of August, 1848, and these wooden statues were built by the Cunys in their honor. The Isle of Pines has not always been the tropical paradise it is today. While young Japanese couples of our era dream about coming here to marry, 19th century convicts came here to drown their sorrows. Prisons that held colony outcasts still stand as a harsh reminder of this period. When the French government decided to exile its communards to the other end of the world, the Cunys were forced to abandon the island. Queen Hortense fought against this injustice and later became a Cuny heroine. Deep in the forest, there's a slab of rock said to be the bed where the queen once laid her head. Winter is not only the end of the year, it's also the end of classes for island youngsters. It's a time for fun and frolic. When Joachim and Nasser were young, they spent their school vacations discovering the marvels of the sea. But today, youngsters are more interested in watching traveling shows and circus acts. The bay's seductive beauty is deceiving, and its strength and force are omnipresent. Vow fishermen are driven with a passion. Fishing is their livelihood, and although they're confronted with danger every time they go out to sea, it's one of their greatest pride and pleasures.
There are 4 types of crawfish. The larger ones are known as porcelain crawfish. There's green crawfish, found under the coral reefs. That one you can find under the barrier reef. You have to be Jacques Maille to catch them. This one's the most popular. And then there's this one called Popinet. And then there's the red crawfish. He's still moving. And another one, kind of like the red crawfish, with spots, a little smaller.
Except for a few private customers, the restaurants of Nouméa keep local fishermen alive. At the end of the year, large porcelain crawfish are served as a traditional dish in almost every feast celebration. Cunis used to fish to meet their personal needs, but the growth in demand drove them to exploit the crawfish market. This is the busiest time of year for Cuni fishermen. Joachim and Nasser take advantage of calm tides. They head for the Cunio Channel off the island's northern tip. They'll only have 1 hour to bring back as many crawfish as they can. The channel is very dangerous. Not only is there a powerful undercurrent, there's also an incredible concentration of sharks. Many a fisherman have gone out, never to return. Techniques used for catching crawfish have developed tremendously since the time when Cuni ancestors fished at night by the light of a torch. Now they stake out the crawfish before diving to depths of up to 50 feet. Certain predators have been known to steal crawfish from divers, and there are always a few curious sharks around. Tiger sharks and great white sharks are the only ones capable of frightening Joachim and Nasser back into their pirogue. Cuny legends are acted out in tribal dances. The dance that tells the myth of the phantoms reenacts tales of ancient fishing customs and in so doing keeps secret Cuny traditions alive. The dance is sacred to island inhabitants. Crawfish, destined to be sold to restaurants in Noumea, are sent by air from the Isle of Pines' only airport. Porcelain crawfish are known throughout the world for their taste and delicacy. They are usually the object of intensive fishing, and they draw high prices in foreign markets. World consumption tends to accelerate and push local business toward exporting. In Noumea, crawfish are a favorite among young Japanese lovers. Laws to protect crawfish are poorly determined and inconsistent. More often than not, the fish are staked out at night and killed with spear guns, a practice that wounds but doesn't kill the animal and destroys the quality of the flesh. The specimens then have to be collected by hand. Recipes used to prepare crawfish in Noumean restaurants are a world apart from the popular traditions and family cooking of the Cunys. Each kitchen adds its own personal touch. This restaurant marinates the crawfish in melted butter and pastis, a French liqueur. Once the shell is open, the flesh of the crawfish is cut in two, filleted, and then cooked for approximately 10 minutes in the shell. The Isle of Pines is a crossroad of sorts, where past and present meet. It's a place of eternal beauty and charm that places great importance on its age-old tradition of fishing.